Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of the FSL League of Legends Singapore, Malaysia and Indonesia qualifiers. I'm Hungry Cats and alongside me is Rerachu. We are kind of excited to get into game 2. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
to day 2, I feel like in day 1 we saw a lot of highs, a lot of lows,
Mm-hmm.
very contrasting performances from a lot of teams, but we also found that Asterix still as dominant as they were in the first season. Second season, of course, they didn't really participate, but coming back for the third time, this particular rendition of it, they are still pretty strong as a cohesive unit. I think they're one of the few rosters that have kept their form, and coming in, we're gonna find out who's gonna be the team that goes up against them in the finals later today.
Yep, definitely very exciting coming into day number 2 of the SGMYID qualifiers. You're saying Asterix kind of took a bit of time, I think, to ramp up. I mean, their game 3 was so much
Yeah.
better than their game 1, but
Right.
I mean, just, those warm-up games, ramping up through the day, it's definitely the spot that they want to be in right now
Yeah.
because they're going to
Mhm.
be the first team that's locked in for
Yeah.
the finals at the end of today. The way that today's schedule is going to work, guys, is that we are going to have either 5 or 6 games. We're going to start off with 3 best of ones. We're going to finish up all the lower bracket games. Yep, so we're going to have TTALGI versus Eevee right now, and then the winner of this game will play the winner of AGM CRZ versus Callisto, who will then play Corgi's Butt, who
Yeah.
lost to
All
Asterix
this is
yesterday.
actually in the bracket that we have in during the break. So like if Jenny's voice sounds too complex, you can wait for the brackets. We'll put that up for you. But for now, let's jump into the picks and bans because we're like halfway through. We've more or less finished the first round of bans already. So we're looking at a Soraka, not surprised, Irelia, as well as Zoe ban on the blue side. Maybe on the red side, the Rumble. Like I said, one of the fewer power picks. The Vayne kind of interesting, but the Leona is to be expected. An immediate lock-in is going to be the Mordekaiser. And I can bet you 100% this is going to be a top lane Mordekaiser because I've been seeing Chloe practice this a lot in scrims. I've been talking to her and like the whole dynamics of the team now that they've sort of split up, formerly known as Nitrous, now moving in as TTALGI. There have been a couple of role swaps here and there. I think Chloe previously the mid laner, now shifting to the top lane. Bringing in a couple of new faces to the team as well. Will shake the dynamic up as we see Draven and Philios being locked in.
Yep, as you're mentioning, 4 out of the current 5 members on TTALGI are from Team Nitrous. Of course, I think their previous leader, Foxy, she's on Callisto.
Now, yeah.
Yep, we did see her play yesterday. Interestingly, if her team, we are having this current low bracket match played concurrently, so her team is playing against AGM CRZ, and if they win, we're going to have that
like Nitrous grudge match, which is super
4v1.
spicy, right? Like honestly, I love watching the storylines behind these because you can definitely feel there's going to be some sort of grudge that's being held. And looking at the second round of bans right now in the game, you see the Braum being removed, which is logical knowing that Nautilus is their sort of bot lane support. They will be looking to thin out the pool. The issue here, I feel, is that you might want to consider Morgana as well, because if you have Nautilus on your side, the CC is very telegraphed. Philios Morgana is actually one of the more frustrating lanes to deal with, especially if you land a bind onto Xayah. She can't pop Featherstorm while she's bound up, right? So there's going to be some issues there.
Yep, we'll be good in the team fights as well. It does have pretty good synergy with the J4. So we will see as the set ban from the side of TTALGI. And yep, there's the Morgana ban. So no Morgana going to be available for TTALGI for this game.
Alright, now looking for the last ban on the blue side. I think right now you want to remove something that is flexible, that the red team can use on their fourth rotation to throw you off your game, right? So off the top of my head, the set makes sense. So set can be flexed in the mid and top. Echo right now is definitely an Echo jungle, I think. Nar is a very targeted top lane pick. I think this signals to us...
they've both been banned.
It does signals to us that Chloe's not very comfortable playing the top lane. And I feel like when you thin out the pool, it's like saying, okay, let's give Mordekaiser the best matchup possible, just in case it becomes a secondary win condition. Because in the side lanes, Mordekaiser is still quite frustrating to deal with. So I think this is them trying to tweak the odds, balance it in the favor of their top lane to get them to a point where they're good to go. And this Mordekaiser can play a solo lane. Okay, Cho Gaff.
Cho. So it will be Cho versus Mord.
Could possibly be a mid lane Cho also.
Yeah, it could be flexed mid as well, but we do have the Echo now.
Echo's definitely going to be in the
jungle.
But when I see the Cho'Gath, this tells me 2 things. One is that it's a reliable top lane pick scaling tank, meaning to say it's almost impossible for you to get solo killed by Mordekaiser if you play the lane properly. Second thing is it denies assassins in the mid lane. Like, you cannot play assassin to Cho'Gath because of the silence and how frustrating it is. So things like LeBlanc, things like Kiana, all off the table right now because Cho'Gath can be flexed into mid. So they lock in the Tahm Kench, which not a very Southeast Asian flavor pick, but will protect the Aphelios as well as the Morgana. So what happens here is if you pop the depth charge on top of the Aphelios, boom, Tahm Kench swallows him, CC is cancelled, right? But in that case, you kind of have to coordinate the protection. Hovering over the Orianna, I think, was a good pick, but the Ahri is sort of going to function in the same way in the sense that if you play Ahri into Cho'Gath, you just wave clear, and then you just roam out of lane. Cho'Gath cannot follow you out of lane unless there's TP, so in this case, should be flexed to top side. Mid lane Diana is the possible play here.
Yeah, I feel like it is going to be the Cho versus Mord top, in which case I feel like it's kind of going to be a farm lane for this game. I think both junglers are really going to be placing a lot more emphasis. Yeah, if we get the Ahri versus Diana, it's pretty much jungle focus is going to be mid bot as well. The J4, the Echo are going to want to try and get Aphelios as well as Xayah hit. I mean, Mord versus Cho, especially post level 6, they're just going to be doing their own thing over in top.
It's really impossible to get solo kill in this matchup unless someone misplays. And when I say misplay, it sounds very general, right? But essentially overstepping, not respecting jungle ganks, not trading properly, and you taking a bad trade, essentially. I want to focus a bit on the mid lane because the Ahri-Diana matchup is very specific. If you can charm Diana out of the Luna Rush, which has been tweaked now, it's on her E instead of her ultimate, right? It cancels the cooldown reset. So now Diana has all-in you without a way to get out. Normally what you would do is you Q E, pop your W, go for one trade, and then E out to another minion so you can get your escape. And that way you don't full all-in commit. If Ahri can play that matchup properly and understand, okay, this is the window I can charm her, I can win the trade, you actually solo kill her. Like, that is a misplay that Diana might make, and you can solo kill her. The champion itself is very one-dimensional. I think Diana, either she snowballs and she outs your backline and they win the fight, and that's like great, it looks super cool on the camera, or she just falls behind, right? And when she out, it's just like a mini Orianna out with no damage, and that's the fuse back.
Yeah, but I like how I like the fact that, you know, we've really been seeing Diana coming back in the last couple of weeks, because I mean, to some it's broken, you know, taking away the gap close of the R into the E, and you're like, wait, what? Now she's just like a couple seconds and then she's here gap closing again. But it is nice to see just that like, sort of aggressive kind of play style. But I do like that you brought up that possible misplay between Ahri and Diana. We'll see if that happens. That is a good option that Ahri has available.
One trend we've seen a lot today and yesterday, at least in the SG-MYID qualifiers, is that teams have been favoring double AP compositions a lot more as opposed to the other regions. In fact, we see the other regions pick up things like the tanks in the top lane in the sense of like Ornn, in the sense of I'm trying to think of the backup picks. I'm sure I have the stats here somewhere, but essentially stylistically it's very different, right? Although we do see things like Cho'Gath and, you know, Mordekaiser which play as bruisers, but it's almost always AP. It's never really AD, and this becomes a problem in terms of the late game damage mix, which is why we see games end actually so early. No one wants to get to that 40-minute point where all the AP is just neutralized and you can't do consistent damage because your burst is just like, wah, you don't do anything, right? So
yeah, we've seen the good Leandry's pickups, and we don't really see like the Merc treads being bought by the third item. So yeah, a lot of games. I think there's only the last game yesterday that ended post the 30-minute mark.
And even then, I would hesitate to say that there was not both teams playing double AP. I think one of them was AD.
Yeah, I think we saw one Irelia top, and then pretty much most of the other games were all AP.
So that sort of thing like plays into the stylistic habits of a region. I feel like SG-MYID as a whole in these qualifiers tend to be a bit more fast-paced. They like to skill check each other in lanes, and almost always you see like lanes going 0-2 or 0-3 early because they don't respect their opponents. And people are like, well, if you're not gonna give me the attention I deserve, I'm just gonna gank the lane and like make sure you guys are behind, right?
That lustreless level 1 on
like
Talia,
that, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, who does that?
The level 1.
No, she like did red buff, walked in mid with the Pantheon, and just like, okay, we're gonna cheese you here, and you will lose this lane because I'm gonna regank you in like 30 seconds. And you don't have flash. Who does that? Like, no other region does that. Only like SG-MYID does that.
Yeah, I think Euro was it. She was just like, wait, what? And she just kind of stood there for a bit. Was like, you know what? Yeah, forget it. This is first blood.
The best part is as the game went on, right? You could see that Candleburn consistently just flashing forward. She was flashing forward. Not even in W range. She flashed forward, walked a bit, and then her opponent was so confused. I think it was the Ahri. She was like, wait, what's going? Like, huh? Why is she randomly flashing on me, right? And that kind of like aggressive skill check, if you don't respect me, I'm gonna kill you style of play in SG-MYID is very different from the other regions at least.
Yeah, and the best part was Candleburn was playing Rumble.
Mm.
Wait, why is the Rumble
No,
aggressive?
it was Pantheon.
Was
Pantheon
it?
Talia.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was that game. Yeah, her first game I
Yeah.
think was on the
The
Rumble.
first game was the Rumble, but then subsequently it was pretty much just banned out because Rumble's broken.
Her positioning
On
for
the
her,
equalizer,
yes,
that
on her,
was-
so good.
When I
Like
saw-
5 of them at least, so good.
When I saw the first one, and if you guys want, you can check out the replay. I think it was like 15 or 14 minutes in the first Asterix game. Behind the Dragon Pit, she was chasing down the Elise, and she didn't do anything but put the equalizer and just chunked her out. And then from then, the team was like, snap decision. Okay, we're gonna play off these. We're gonna play these objectives based off that chunk, and it's like so rehearsed. It's so scary.
And alright guys, with that, we are going to be loading into game number 1 of day 2 of the Female Esports League Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia qualifiers. Very shortly, I'm pretty excited to finally get to see TTALGI playing on the stream because I believe in the 5 games
They've
that
been
we
playing
played
off-stream,
yesterday.
yeah.
They've been playing off streamers. We've seen Eevee I think once or twice.
Twice.
Twice. We saw
Twice.
them game 1. They lost.
Yep.
They won against Steelheart.
No, they lost against
They lost
Steelheart,
to Steelheart and then
won
they
Masala.
won against Masala
Yeah.
in the very last game of yesterday. So since we are into game number 2, this is going to be an elimination match, unfortunately, for the loser of this game, the winner.
Essentially, yeah. If
Yep.
you don't like pop off here,
Mm-hmm.
you will be eliminated, and this is pretty much your last chance at redemption. But you know, the storyline is pretty cool if you win all the way into the finals and somehow manage to take it away from Asterix. I feel like Asterix are in a prime position right now because chances are, and I really hope they're not sleeping, they are like watching the games and taking notes. Like, oh, you know, they ban out top lane and they want to get like Mordekaiser for Chloe. This kind of like minor macro and overall draft strategy is very important. So if you're Asterix right now, you take note of this news and you want to draft accordingly right now.
Yeah, we got word from production guys that the TTALGI AD carry Taney is restarting her router, and which is why we are having a pause. So hopefully we get that started for you guys very quickly. Yep, there is the reconnect.
Right.
I feel like I remember her, so Taney's been playing in a couple of the past seasons from FSL. I think her ID was just Taney.
No, it was the same.
Was it
the
still
same, yeah.
Taney Shide?
Yeah, it
Because
was the same.
guys, I mean, the band's not around anymore, right? It's like Sonia Shide. I feel old. It's like the OG Korean pop, and Taney's like the fan name I think for Taeyeon and Tiffany. Am I right?
I'm just nodding because like I'm not a K-pop culture kind of guy. Right? So I'm like,
not
yes,
sure.
you can
And
tell me anything and I will agree.
like I'm not sure, and I don't want to like mess with all the K-pop stans.
But-
Bae is like on my right laughing because Bae is a huge K-pop stan. He's shaking his head.
For those of you that don't know, I was Observer Bay. If you've been following like the League of Legends scene long enough, he used to play on like Nyanzone. And he was
higher.
the mid laner.
He
was the mid laner, right? I think his IGN was Johnso back then.
Johnso, yeah, he's
Johnso.
higher elo than the
Yeah.
both of us.
Nowadays probably still is. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so because you mentioned Tanya, I was like, oh, why did they ban the Vayne? I remembered that she actually like does one trick Vayne pretty well.
Yeah, she's actually one of like the better AD carries. She's consistent.
Vayne players, right?
Vayne players, am I right?
Happens to me all the time. Like going solo queue. Oh, I'm gonna play Vayne top. Oh, guess who's dodging? It's me. I'm not playing today, I guess.
Well, thanks for declaring in CS easy dodge.
It's like if you play Lucian top, I can still give it to you because there is some value there.
Lucian and like Triss top, I'm like, alright,
Yeah,
you know.
because you push fast, you take objectives, you're sort of mobile with the dash and the hop.
Mhm.
Vayne is like, I'm gonna tumble one step away from you and hope you don't chase me down. Oh no, you caught me.
Just what we don't want to see.
But this time it's gonna be Aphelios, and that's pretty much like Vayne on steroids. I was wondering, I think I was telling you this or telling Spoots this. There is no reason not to play Aphelios if it's open, right?
Mhm.
The only reason most people can like ostensibly say, oh, I'm not playing Aphelios is because I don't know how to play Aphelios.
Yep.
Then at this level of competition, one of the most broken ADCs you should be picking up and should be abusing this champion.
Yeah, these are the big 3. So on this patch, right, because Aphelios, Senna, and MF all received nerfs fairly recently. I mean, Aphelios is still really strong. He really he deserved those nerfs. I think most of all.
He's probably like the most broken out of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
MF is like a close second because there are still ways to deal with MF. Aphelios is just like what guns does he have? I don't even know, man. Like, how do you outplay what you can't see? It's sort of nonsense, right? It's like it becomes a philosophical question. Like,
how do you dodge what you can't see?
It's kind of like nonsense. Like, oh, guess he has 7 guns and I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but like Senna is probably the one that didn't deserve the nerfs, but actually went through, because I feel her role in the game is very niche in the sense that you are catering or drafting around a late game poke style composition. It's like when people pick Juggernaut compositions, right, the Kog'Maw, and they build around it. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Why are you gonna nerf it, man? And then now Senna's like almost unplayable. There's no reason to play her anymore. And ADC, it's pretty much the MF and Ophelia show now.
Yeah, we did see her being picked a few times. I remember all the salt from HungryCast every time Senna was hovered and picked.
It's like, don't pick Senna. Same thing, if you play like Lucian ADC and Aphelios is open, I'm like, Aphelios is just a better version of Lucian. Yeah. In this case, we have Xayah, which is more commonly seen in the LEC together.
Yeah, I mean, after the bunch of the ADC nerfs, we're pretty much seeing a return of Xayah, Ezreal, heavily contested.
Ezreal,
for sure.
More in like Korea for some weird reason.
I mean,
Xayah definitely more in
Korean AD carries traditionally, they all play
Everyone plays
Ezreal. Like
Ezreal,
how junglers, Vietnam junglers, all
play
play
Lee
Lee
Sin.
Sin.
That's true. Yeah. And LEC junglers love their Elise, so like it's like one of those things, right?
Their cheese cocoon hex slash level 2 hex slash strat.
There's like a video of them talking about this and something inside. I think it was probably an amazing, right? Just talking about this. I laughed my face off. It was so hilarious because they were trying to explain how ridiculous it was to deal with it. At the same time, you can't prep for it on stage because if they do it, you're just like, well, this is some next level stuff.
You can't prep against
you can't
it.
prep against it on stage,
God.
you know? If they pick Elise and you're like, it's 50-50 that she has the Hex Flash.
It's happening.
And if she does, I'm never going anywhere near my brushes. Oh no, Hoping to reconnect soon. Remember, guys, this is day 2, pretty much just following the lower bracket. 3 games in. This is our first. We have the second and third soon after, and then after that, we'll find out who is going to be playing up against Asterix, who have safely secured their spot in the finals, the best of 3.
Yeah, Asterix already locked in for the later grand finals for SGMYID, and it's I think a position that Asterix has been in very often. But I think there is some debate as to whether you want to be locked in early or not, because sure, you play much less games if you just consistently win your way through a double elimination type of system. However, it also means that you don't really get a lot of chances to play against your opponents.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're not sure if they're actively watching the drafts and stuff. Whereas if you're say the team such as Corgi's, but I mean Vayne's on that team, of course. Vayne previously from top 10 Dinos. There's that long history of her team going up against Asterix for that top 1-2 spot. And I mean, I think some players especially would prefer to just play a few more games. Just get yourself warmed up before you play Asterix in the final. I mean, Asterix for today, I mean, they're not playing in any of the first 3 games.
Chilling out
and then they're just going straight away into the grand finals. So
always takes a while for them to come online. I think in the best of 3 though, you do have that one game flexibility where you can like just come in a bit cold and not worry too much. So
and be like, whoops.
The thing is, to answer your question, I feel it's completely fine if you get into the finals earlier. I would actually overvalue the ability to watch people play and take notes as opposed to practicing like by playing 4 or 5 games before that, because at the same time your mental fatigue starts to build up, right? If you're playing like 4 games in a row before you play the champions, or like you're playing the BO3, by the time you're there you're just so tired. Maybe your comms are off, maybe your team just doesn't even get it anymore, and that becomes a bigger problem in itself. I think always good to be just waiting in the finals, taking notes of your opponents, and then coming in hot. Hopefully ADC connects soon. I think we saw Taney actually did reconnect, but I'm not sure if they're starting soon.
How many AD carries does it take to restart a router?
Probably 1, but they'll blame their support for router going down. Probably 1, but they'll blame the support for the router.
Not the jungle? What? Okay, we got word from production that the router issue has actually already been fixed. Right now we're just waiting for the 3-minute spectator delay.
Dope. What? You know, I started using that like ironically, and now it's part of my vocabulary. I'm just like, no.
I know, right? Yeah, it's like
It's
all,
like,
all
oh,
the
yeah, you know?
all the Billie Eilish slang that the kids are saying nowadays.
I actually started doing that ironically,
That
and then now it's
that
part of my.
wait,
It sucks.
I feel
It's
like
horrible.
2
Yeah.
years ago this happened to you with lit.
You know, I'm still. It's still going on. It's a problem.
Right? Like back then we were like, oh, it's lit
It's, yeah,
fam.
that's
Fam. It's lit
At first I
fam.
started doing it like ironically, and I was like, that's lit.
I was
Wait,
like,
what?
wait.
Like, you know.
Suddenly it makes your way into your vernacular and you're
So
like,
it's
wait,
actually the worst.
wait a minute.
So if you guys see me like saying weird Zoomer stuff, it's because it somehow
'Cause
slipped into my
yeah,
vocabulary.
Not
accidentally,
because
yeah.
Hungry is a Zoomer. He just hangs out with the Zoomers.
This echo here will show on the top side. So the thing is, there's like a one-side trade of information right now. If you're okay, now she's walked out. There's enough information swapped. We'll recall and probably pick up the sweeper. So remember that this echo player was in the mid lane yesterday, and now they swapped into the jungle, brought in Tina into mid. So there've been some role changes here. I'm not fully sold on the Diana not having Conqueror instead. She did go for the Electrocute, which is kind of like
the
question
Chad
mark
pick.
for me. It reflects her playstyle. So basically, you just want to go in and like short trade.
You
want to
E in and then get back.
You want to do the perfect
Mhm.
trade combo that I talked about, which is Q the backline or hit the RE, E onto her, get the reset, trade for Electrocute damage, and then E out.
Meanwhile, fairly standard. The level 1, we did see Eevee. We saw the ward that was dropped over in the top side river, and then Zaya as well did drop the ward over in the bottom side, but then they didn't. The blue didn't walk through the river, so they actually didn't get any real utility out of that ward.
It's completely fine though, because looking at the pathing right now, this ward is actually going to spot out the Jarvan.
Nice.
So the level 2 cheese is already deflected right now. If you're Tina, you bait this and you just waste the time. You don't even walk up like this, right? All you're doing is like, oh, look, I'm walking up to CS, come and gank me, because you're burning like precious 10-20 seconds of the Jarvan's time.
That
Literally right now, Echo's going to hit level 3 off the next buff or the next camp, and that's when you have the tempo advantage.
Yeah, that was so nice, that ward, the last 3 seconds of that ward.
Okay, so you get 3 off this. I don't think you get level 3 off the Raptor, so you need to do, or at least walk into lane to soak one particular camp, or one particular wave. As far as I remember, you don't get 3 off this. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah,
You need to walk into lane. Oh, okay, you do.
Yeah, we're in 10-3, and then also for the level 4, level 5 EXP scaling for monsters, we have that very slight buff from the level 4 to
I remember that. So if this was 10.2, you probably don't get level 3 there, but because it's 10.3, they've changed
very
EXP
slightly,
by like +5 or +10. So that's why she barely is level 3 right now, if you can see. On our screen, at least you can see. Knock up here on the top side by Jesslyn, and this is what I mean by misposition. You have to be very careful. If you're Chloe right now, you call the jungle over, because just counting the minions will tell your team that it's going to push out. So you need the prior on the top side to make sure that you can gank. Similarly, Echo is just going to cover the top side just in case Jarvan comes up. 2v2 though, I give the advantage over here to Ahri and Jarvan. So if you are Echo, Diana, you back off and give this Scuttle Crab over.
Yeah, ours just at the level 4 too, but landing the charm onto Diana.
Yeah, they've overcommitted here. I think they might just die. The parallel conversion's coming in. They switch the target over to Diana, who's going to flash and double flash follow through. Like I said, this 2v2 belongs to the Diana, the Echo, the Jarvan and Ahri, so the Echo and Diana should just back off. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, Ahri got the level 4 right at the start of that exchange too. Very split fight. It was the Ahri versus Diana, first landing the charm onto Diana and then zoning her away from the J4 Echo. Right now, bot side, Aphelios going down pretty low. Yeah, this is fine. Zaya is also really low on mana, so she's not going to be able to get as many pokes down with the Q.
Poke in onto the Tom Kench. Still has the gray health. Will pop it very early on, having to flash out as well. Taney trading the damage back across. It will be a flash expended for absolutely nothing on the other side. So right now, the spot lane taking a pretty bad of a beating here in terms of trades, but they will be able to keep up the CS here.
Yeah, no, it really needs to be. Yep, so the bot lane gonna be together, jungler nowhere around. It's kind of the thing with support Nautilus. You actually do get very low in mana. Yeah. I think your Q, your E as well. very mana intensive.
This wave is going to push out, should be able to hit the turret in time so it will not freeze. In the grand scheme of things, because the Echo Diana forced the play in the mid lane, they're actually behind on tempo now that they died. So all the advantage that Echo had early on is just negated right now. Jarvan is actually stronger when it comes to taking these 2v2s. The moment they meet and gank the same lane, Echo actually does lose out.
Yeah, and Diana's in a bit of a pinch right now because she was forced to go for the double Dorans, whereas Ari already has the Lost Chapter with that extra bit of gold from the first blood. You could see earlier because Ari went back to pick up the Lost Chapter.
Yeah.
Diana actually kind of pushed lane and then walked into the river seeing that her Echo was getting the Scuttle Crab, but then realized, you know, there's no EXP, there's no actual objective for me because my bot lane has backed as well. So she just had about 10-15 seconds with nothing to do, and right now she's at the item disadvantage in lane.
This is a good take on the Inferno. Absolutely no opportunity cost here. You just walk in, and because you got the early reset timing between the Xayah and Nautilus base, we saw them base at the same time. They were able to walk in and take the Inferno Dragon. Teleport will be expanded on the top side by Qualifiers, so there is no help coming in from the Mordekaiser in the bot lane. Ostensibly, this bot lane is just you're on your own, buddy. You know, there's no way you're gonna make it out without the teleport coming in. Good grab in, missing the Obliterate. Actually using the Death Realm, remember that is the level 6 advantage. Looking for one more auto for the Darkness Rises. The Conqueror is procced right now. She's looking for a bit more Obliterate damage, and that's going to force a flash. I think you just follow through here, go for the last Q, and you should be able to pick up the solo kill. Hey,
No!
The potion was running.
Yep, that was the pot. Well, that's why you pop your pot early, kids. And that was so close to me, especially because Justin didn't have mana for the Eve. I think she had cooldown, but not the silence.
Good route there, actually forcing the heal, but with the Jarvan pulled under turret, it might be very tricky. The Tahm Kench with the Devourer actually helps her get out. Parallel Convergence coming in, and remember, this is the teleport coming from Jaslyn. She does not have the Feast just yet, though, so I don't know what she can do here. Only a single knockup from the Jarvan. They split the target. Jarvan's going to go back in. I think they're going to trade the kills across. They're looking for the damage on the Cho'Gath. Flashing in is the Nautilus, the Tongue Lash, though. The comms not really working out right now as everyone is split up. They're going to pick up all the kills here. You can see for a moment Eevee there. They were all not on the same page, and it's going to cost them a lot here in the bot lane.
Yeah, absolute disaster for the side of Eevee, especially with that roam down from Ari. That just looked like easy triple kill for the mid laner. Plus, TTALGI are going to be able to pick up about 2 plates. 1 plate.
The Tahm Kench is the Devourer, so I don't know if you can make this play here. Going in for the move forward, and there's the Devourer out. Eventually, with the Ignite, will allow Tina to pick up the kill. So, super greedy that Tani and Amigi walking up to take the plates after the fight, but will get punished by Tina. So she finds herself a small advantage, still not on par with the one that Ari has got earlier.
Yeah, Ari 3-0-0, looking to push out this wave, head back to base, spend that with the Q, spend the good amount of gold that she just got. J4 right now, looks like she's gonna spot out Diana here in the river. Yep, Diana gonna back off. Have the help of Echo. Still level 5 at this point, J4 as well. So we're kind of expecting once they hit that level 6 to really make something happen.
What needs to happen here is that they should be moving over to the Rift Herald. It's 8.5 minutes. Your top lane we saw earlier already. Quawi is able to 1v1 the Cho'Gath. And because of the level advantage, there was an outplay that Cho'Gath overextended. You have full prior on the top side. J4 should just shadow the top side and look to take the Rift Herald with the lane pushing as well as the mid advantage that Ari has. You don't even need to full swap, you could just send the support up to the top side. Yeah, this lane is gonna go real bad for Cho'Gath because of the earlier misplay. Not respecting the level 6, now we will have to play from behind.
Yeah, has hit the level 6, but because teleported at level 5 right now, so Jesslyn isn't all the most useful to her team for the next 2-3 minutes. You can see Echo behind the mid lane. Just gonna wait for Diana to show up. Some good ward coverage actually. Yeah, over from the red side all throughout the river.
This would be a good play if the Ari was roaming down because the big wave was stacked up. They could have dove it, but sitting in the brush is just them saying, okay, we don't want the Echo to force the gank here. We can force the gank to move forward in. Spirit Rush coming out. Echo chasing under the range of turret though will mean that this should be the end of the gank, and it was ultimates being traded across the Ari ultimate for the Diana. I think Echo is still holding on to her own Chrono Break, so it's no issue there. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald will be started up in the top side.
Yeah, this is a pretty good rotation because you go into mid, you kind of pressure the Ahri. She did look like she was going to recall, but it looks like she's not. She cancelled her recall. But while that's going on, you have the Echo who's sneakily taking Shelly at 10 minutes.
She's not hitting the back, like the eye on the back, so this is taking much longer than it should. If you are the Jarvan right now, you should just walk over to check the top side, and you will spot this. Why is she not hitting the eye? She's actually... She might die here. She has to hit the eye, otherwise she dies.
Got Cho.
Okay,
Cho's
Cho's
gonna show up and...
Okay.
Wait, what? What? Cho didn't even...
But that's what I'm talking about, right? There was a window for them to take the top lane play, but instead Jarvan went to the bot lane to secure that wave pushing in. You can't, if you're a hit, you can't play to hold. Oh, that's the charm. Getting the second E off, though, might just be an issue. Oh my goodness. Tina with the solo kill in, the flash as well as the ignite. And you can see the problem there. She connected with the E before the charm hit her, so she managed to get the reset.
Yeah, J4 looking like wanted to get the execute onto Diana, but just had the assistance of Echo. We saw it at the minimap earlier after Echo picked up Shelly. Did actually walk around to the blue side of blue buff to kind of get some vision and see where the J4 was.
Knocking the Echo up just outside the parallel convergence. But
Tom roaming up towards mid actually, the bot lane, and Taney.
they're looking to secure vision because the Ocean Dragon is up right now, so that's just the safe play, right? But the tempo has been traded across. The Rift Herald was picked up earlier by the Echo, and now this should be the Ocean picked up here. Remember that Zuriel isn't around, so the Ahri isn't here to reinforce. Once they steal this, they have to back off. They can't handshake this fight, otherwise it might be quite disastrous as the Ahri arrives finally in time to finally look for the play as the Xayah goes down straight away. And because she got there just in time, they should be able to clean up this fight. Echo, the last member alive, pops the blast cone over, and now they're looking to pick up the jungler with the Rift Herald here. We'll let her go and show a bit of mercy, but at the end of it, because Ahri did arrive just in time, they were able to handshake the play.
Yeah, Eevee just a bit late to that dragon fight earlier. It was only Chizuru and Soons as well. They actually tried to start that 3v2, and then Ahri showed up really quick, so it became something like a 4v3 very early on. And I mean, Eevee weren't really quite in a position to try and take the dragon. I mean, Chizuru actually had a pretty good Xayah ultimate follow up with the E. I think that did two very good stuns in the dragon pit, but at that point, just down in gold. Yep, she had to flash out. No items, no damage. It just ended really badly for them. They gave up the dragon as well as the 3 kills.
Almost managing to finish off the bot tier 1 would have been a big income surge for the Aphelios here, but we're not in a position to do so because Xayah and Alice arrived back in time. There is a window right now for them to 4-man the bot lane. You can see Diana's ult is coming up soon. All she has to do is just consistently shove mid, make the 4-man play bot with Echo, and then pop the Rift Herald. I think that's how you get back into the game in the bot side. Otherwise, you're just going to slowly bleed out. This is a 4-on-3 Echo, Aphelios, right? It's going to be real hard for the Xayah to jump back in without a 4-man in the bot lane. Good hit on the Scryers to reveal the control ward in the river. This is a low value Herald pick. All you get is plates here. You don't even get the structure, which is the biggest, like the first turret with Herald is probably the biggest bonus you can get. It's like 500 gold, right? Right here you only get like 200-ish plates, and now you've hard to commit into the mid lane play as the move ball comes in, the Jarvan popping the stopwatch. They are probably going to be able to finish off the kills here as she flashes forward to bring the orb back in, and this is sick play coming from Zuru. I'm not sure if they can finish off the kill as the ignite goes forward, and just nice, the stopwatch keeps her alive. Still hunting though as she is out of mana.
Yep, does have the backup of Jesslyn, roam down from top lane, but just very antsy play from Eevee. They knew that they only had about 35 seconds left before turret plating was going to fall, and so they opted to pop the Shelly immediately, but as you said, just not the most effective Rift Herald summon that they could have used, and giving up their mid laner in exchange.
So the mash works out like this. If you get 2 plates with the Rift Herald, it's 240 gold. Split between 2 people. But if you finish 2 plates and the structure, it's 800 gold, split between how many people. That's the reason why I highly advocate using Rift Herald, the first charge, to immediately knock down the structure as opposed to get plates for free.
Yeah.
because as you finish off plates, the structure itself gets tankier, so there is some issue there. Right now they understand, okay, we gotta finish off the plates, or rather finish off the structure first as the Devourer comes in to keep the Ophelio safe. Teleport in though might make this very tricky. The first member to fall is gonna be Anolis. I say that, the stopwatch keeps her alive, and I think right now overcommitting is gonna be TTALGI, and they're gonna get picked up. The Xayah finds 2 here. Stopwatch in the front, using the Death's Grasp or Death's Realm to keep her alive. The triple in, possibly the Quadra as Chloe comes out of this Death Realm. You gotta give it over to Chizuru to kind of equalize the advantage that the Anolis, or rather the Ophelios has, and it will be an unofficial Quadra here picked up by the Xayah, and a great team communication knowing that TTALGI wanted to hard commit for the bot tier 1. They call everyone down into the bot lane.
Yeah, and that was the 4-man over in bot side they're saying Eevee definitely needed to do to try and help their Xayah. And they definitely did. They're going to be able to finally pick up the bot side tier 1. It's actually going to be the first tower of the game. And so first tower gold going over to Eevee as well. That's huge.
Right now, this allows them to play the AD carry bot lane, AD carry support in the top lane. So you swap Xayah and Anolis to the top side. You prepare for the Rift Herald, which is, gonna be up in like 30 seconds. Once you claim that, and you slam that in mid, that's when your advantage really snowballs if you are Eevee. Resets coming in for the side of Eevee, and like we were saying, they should be playing the AD carry support in the top lane instead of heading back to the bot lane. Even if there is a dragon coming up, I feel like there is no point contesting this. The Rift Herald is worth so much more, especially when your composition is not really geared to play towards the mid-game team fights.
Yeah, really hard commit to the setup over here from the side of Eevee. 4 members roaming around the mid side for the last minute. TTALGI only with 3. Their J4 had just recalled back to base, so they can't really contest this though. It does look like they want to.
There's so many wards inside the jungle right now for TTALGI, so I think Eevee will be fully seen here if they dawdle around this area.
Yeah, I think they're not sure what Diana is. They can't see the path that she and Cho are taking. Oh, they can't see Diana in the mid lane right now, but there's the Cho.
Absolutely no reason to lock yourself in a pit right here. Remember, Mountain Dragon or the particular terrain changes means that there's only 1 or 2 ways in and out. It makes it very difficult to fight here as the Cataclysm comes in. A great Moonlight Vigil on the backline will shred everyone. The Ari already picking up the double as well as the shutdown here as another double goes the way of Taney. And with that small entry point, they were able to pick off everyone there with the Moonlight Vigil.
I feel like I can't believe what I just saw. TTALGI starting off the dragon and Eevee just going in to get absolutely slaughtered from the squad of TTALGI. I think, so they tried to start it off with the Cho'Gath coming in from the back. However, her W knockup, she was actually only able to knock up 1 person.
Yeah.
Actually, in general, in the Dragon or Baron fights, the W knockup from Cho is actually huge. If you can catch something like 3 people on the opposite side into a silence, that's really what's going to win you the team fights from the start. But the
issue with that, it's so conditional, right? If they walk into that and let you do it, then yeah, sure, you win the fight. But that's as good as them like taking their hands off the keyboard and mouse, right?
Exactly, because the I think the setup that Team Eevee have to start off fights isn't the most reliable, right? Because a lot of it is kind of some sort of a secondary CC, or it relies on you landing something first before your Diana can go in, before your Xayah can really R&E that. It has a bit of a delay as well.
You're essentially looking for a flank with the Echo and Diana if you want a team fight, and you can't walk into a choke like that.
Exactly.
Because like I was Charm going wide, actually landing on the Xayah, managing to push them away. Might just find a solo kill here with the Igniter, the Moonfall being used by Tina to dissuade the aggression. Zuriel actually jumping in and out of the danger zone and managing to pull the aggression away from the mid-tier 1, saving the structure.
Yeah, Chizuru just barely managing to stay alive with the pot. But yeah, Eevee hard committed to that one. 3 people in the mid lane and didn't even manage to get the tier 1.
I think the right play right there, as I was alluding to earlier, is you just go for the Rift Herald you traded, right? There's no reason for you to fight in that small choke from the mountain. Eevee walks to the top side, takes the Rift Herald, and then pops it in the mid lane to open up the tier 1. That was the ideal play, but because they couldn't do that, they can't get mid tier 1 as well. They overextended there and got punished. And with Rift Herald being on the Jarvan right now, there is a window for them to swap the AD carry support to the top side, which they have done so far, and pop the Rift Herald down to open up the top tier 1.
Yep, now bot lane as well. Diana, Echo, looking to, yep, pick up the tier 1
Weird
finally.
position for the Rift Herald. I mean, sure, it's gonna walk in,
yeah. But like I don't know why we actually see this quite often. I've seen a lot of Shellys being popped, in the topside river.
Okay, you gotta walk into range and auto the
auto,
structure. You gotta auto the structure, otherwise you're not gonna get gold. Yep. The plays being made in topside though, as the Spirit Rush is used, fishing for the charm is Zuru, and now she's gone a bit too close. There was no vision at all, and now she's inside. Moonlight Vigil coming up, the Infernum actually burning everyone down. Good Devour from the Tom Kench will allow the Jarvan to reset the aggro and land multiple knockups. Look at the AoE damage from the Infernum. Oh man, the instant triple kill being picked up. The Oopsie Daisy in and out with the Devourer and the Flag and Drag. My goodness, this jungler is just popping off here for TTALGI.
Yeah, absolutely worth it. We were saying, like, you know, you have to A the tower to get the Shelly gold. TTALGI had other things on their mind. They were like, we want the 4 kills onto Team Eevee instead. Pretty worth it, we gotta say. They even picked up the top tier 1 as well. But what a play from Jarvan. Cataclysm onto the Zaya in the back.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah,
And that's a Chad move. That's
that
like
was
a,
the Chad. Yeah. That was like the I'm going to one person KS and Cataclysm lock you in. And
see, so this is why Riot should remove Aphelios from the game. When you have Crescendum and Severum, the lifesteal that you have just allows you to take Baron so quickly. And remember, this is just 2 carries, an Aphelios who's healing up, and a Tom Kench who has the grey skin. That's all. Like, literally, there's no real tank here apart from these 2, and because they're juggling the aggro so well, they get the Baron for free.
Yeah, not even just Baron for free. It's also a 21-minute Baron as well, so early on in the game. And yeah, as you're mentioning, 3 people, which just means that because they are split amongst multiple members on the map, it's very time efficient in terms of being able to get the Baron buff over in the bot side. You see Clawy split pushing here in the with the Mordekaiser. Eevee finally respawning, heading back towards the river. I think about to wait for the dragon. Just dropping some wards. The bottom side river. Hoping to catch out the Tom actually.
That's
Tom looks like he wants to go.
It's a classic NT Baron move. So this is something I learned from Jensen. Like, oh, hold on. They found a lot of damage on Anolis. Yeah, but essentially if your opponents take Baron, right, what you want to do is just 5-man sit in a random brush that they have to face check. In this case, it's usually that river brush, right? And they walk in to get vision. You either find 1 or 2 members that just straight out trying to put wards down with a false sense of confidence, and you kill them. You do that like repeatedly, just trying to pick off people with Baron to neutralize the Baron advantage.
Dragon has a spawn. It looks like the entire team we have a backed off right now. Don't really want to contest this. Not really in a position to contest this. They're actually about 9.5 thousand gold down off of TTALGI at the 23-minute mark. So yep, Dragon going to go very easily over to the side of TTALGI. They're going to form a push mid right here. Have the help of the Baron empowered wave too, but Eevee look like they want to
They should give up this mid tier 2. There's no way for them to fight this. Getting charmed up. There's going to be an issue though, as Tina takes a lot of damage from the GLP, the fire hose, bringing her health bar down. And right now they're going to probably claim this with no real contest. While we still over on the top side, looking to siege down on the top tier 2 as well. She can't really sit here permanently because over time I feel like this is going to draw some aggression. And when I say she, I mean the Echo, right? She can't really match the Mordekaiser because the mid lane is drawing a lot of aggression. So the play has to be made here. Burnham actually doing a lot of damage. The Flag and Drag forces the Featherstorm out. Back in is the Jarvan, but the Devourer Miki on point once more to keep the Jarvan alive, jumping into the backline. The move forward will not connect with anyone as the GLP will be stopwatched away from Razania's rather. The Cataclysm into the backline. We'll find multiple members here. Zuru now falling very low as Chizuru flashes out to look for the finishing blows on the Ahri, but it does not matter because they are able to pick up all the kills in the base and now just sieging on the mid inhibitor as well.
Yeah, death timer is more than 20 seconds for 3 members of the side of Team Eevee. I think TTALGI are gonna pick up the inhibitor and then be very content to just back out of a base right here. Look to rotate over top, pick up the top side tier 2. But at this point in the game, I don't think that Eevee have a lot of options left.
They're getting choked out slowly but surely. Unfortunately, this is the case with the draft.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing up against the Ari Aphelios, and the worst part for them is that the Ari actually got a hit in the early to mid game. So she's been that very successful bridge, kind of taking that into the game. So at the 25-minute mark right here, they have such a huge lead. Usually, when you play against the Ari with a big lead, you're kind of like, okay, she's going to fall off. However, because the rest of the TTALGI squad is actually really strong as well, they have the Aphelios. Claudia's pretty much been just, doing her job. She's 1 and 2 and 4, not had the most impact in terms of roaming around for the game, but that's not what she needed to do. She just needed to win against the Cho'Gath and then make sure that her team wins the 4v4. And
Yeah,
that was what they did. The Ari won early as well, so now, because their Aphelios is in an 11, 2, and 9 position, I really don't think Eevee can try and bring this one back.
This makes sense though, because you could see in the draft the focus was getting a Chloe into a comfortable position in the top lane. So you neutralize the Gnar, you neutralize the set. This means that Mordekaiser has more or less found the best matchups right now against anything. She found an early advantage against the Cho'Gath, who did not respect the level difference, and like you said, all they had to do was make sure you don't lose this. And you can sit in the side lane, just split push non-stop while your team holds the pressure in the mid. Push coming through from Tani, already finishing off most of her core items right now. Classic sentry with the Equilibrium means that it's going to be going down very quickly, actually landing the Q and throwing the Severum across as well. Oh, not the Severum, the Crescendum, the Chakrams moving forward. Now we have to keep our eye on whether the flank can come through from Echo. If they can find a suitable angle to push into from the side, they might be able to win a equal fight, I feel.
Yep, TTALGI fermenting topside right here. Again, the Mordekaiser with this quick push down in the bot. Team Eevee playing it really safe. They know they can't really escape out of the base, but
she's going to be fishing for a charm here. She actually gets the Diana and chunks her down. They will be able to get the top inhibitor turret based off that chunk, and right now the Severum's Sentry doing so much work. Now they're jumping into the backline. They're jumping all eyes on the Cataclysm as the Moonlight Vigil will pop on the backline. Aphelios is being focused down, but they are not finding enough damage to do so. They trade 2 for 1 so far, as Tani is left completely untouched. Here comes Chloe with the Death Realm, throws the Echo inside. This buys them enough space though, as Tani is left completely untouched, still moving in. They find the kill on the Cho'Gath, and now Xayah having to use the Featherstone to run away. The last member standing, and I say that, she goes down immediately to Tani as well. And this should be the game coming in from TTALGI, off the back of a extremely well-performed mid-jungle duo, as well as an AD carry who popped off. TTALGI will proceed still in the lower bracket.
Yep, congratulations to TTALGI winning that game at number 1 in our Day 2 of the Female Esports League Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. Qualifiers will proceed into our game at number 2 match. I'm not sure if it's still ongoing. I'm not sure if the who they're going. Who they're going up against will be either AGM, CRZ, or Callisto. Whoever is currently winning.
Right,
I believe it is Callisto.
Grudge match.
Yep.
Grudge match. Okay,
they made it happen.
This sounds BM, right? I'm just going to say it. Like, in this particular matchup, we saw that the Jarvan had a huge impact in the fights. Like, really important cataclysms. And this is just a fact, right? And you compare that to the person that left was the ex-jungler, who was, Foxy, leaving Nitrous. Is this going to be a case where, like, the Jarvan is going to flex in the next game, like, look at how I'm performing with your O team and, like, how good we're doing? I feel like that's going to be a big thing. Like, if you're Foxy, you worry about that because she's playing mid now.
Yep.
And, like, the Jarvan is going to be living in mid,
Exactly. Like, I feel like, if it's a jungle versus jungle matchup, it's not as bad as if it's their enemy jungler and you're playing mid, because am I going to get camped the whole game? Is that what's going on?
Like, I can imagine the scenario, you're just walking in, like, Foxy level 1, and you're like, oh, what are you doing? And the Jarvan's like, oh, I'm just setting up a camp.
Can you imagine,
cool.
like, their comms, right? It's just like, tilt her, tilt her. Oh, no.
This is going to be like the version of Lustrous level 2 cheese getting the mid lane, right? Just to tilt
Tell you,
Foxy. But with that, guys, we'll be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have the Nitrous Grudge match. It's going to be Callisto going up against TTALGI. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.